Alright guys, I got another alley emergency. You just got to hear the sound of this. We just pulled it in. I don't know what's wrong with it, but girlfriend Erin in there, she's going to give it the beans. Okay, rev it up a little bit, babe. Alright. Boy, that sounds lovely. Alright, I'll be back with something on this, and then you got to go with how it rolls in the alley, I guess. Alright guys, she doesn't sound too good. What I'm going to do is, I never gave it much thought, but somebody inquired about what Android tablets would run the HScope software. I do have, mine's a Samsung S6, but my girlfriend Erin, I believe that's an A7. I'll look on it for sure, but I'm going to install the HScope software on it, and then I guess making sounds like that, that's going to just be a relative compression test right off the bat, and then I'll use it on that tablet. We'll see what it looks like, make sure it looks the same. But yeah, I looked into the code. That's a knock sensor code, and there's plenty of procedure to test the knock sensor, but I'd say on this one, knock sensor's probably right. I could hear it coming down the alley. All right, guys, I'll set her up and see what happens. Alright guys, seeing what's up in this festive car, to say the least. I'm pretty sure it's going to just be a straight up relative compression test first, but the codes were catalyst deficiency and the glow relay stuck on, and that should be for a knock sensor from the little bit of looking into it I did so far. So I'm figuring probably hook up the HScope. Like I say, I want to use that an A model Android tablet on it, just see if it runs as good. But while I'm here, if there's anything like say some manufacturers, they give you a power balance, and it's kind of weird. It's not even down like we could disable injectors. Basically, the noise this is making, I'm going to start with the compression test. I mean, you could disable to isolate what cylinder it is, but sometimes there's just it's a picture of a piston when they do have it. Fords are good for having it on there, and I don't see nothing under that. Okay, but no problem. We're going to just go at it with the scope. We're going to use the HScope 512, and we're going to just do a relative compression test, see if it shows us a dead one. I mean, I've heard some misses make some pretty weird sounds, but all right, I got it. The tripod aimed at A7, and I'm just gonna crank the key with my foot off the throttle, and then I'm gonna push down on the throttle, see if we see a difference anywhere in there, just for curiosity. Alright guys, we'll stop that. That doesn't sound good at all, does it? I'll go back to where there's one at a filter, it takes off some of your reading, and there's some that a low pass won't. See, that cleaned it up, but it didn't affect our readings. Here's where we started cranking. Doesn't look like a dramatic compression loss, but is it missing one or two? It sounds like the timing belt's the whole way off, but the thing ran in here. Or chain, you know, whatever the case may be. Time is time. But I'd say the next thing I'd want to know, count the humps, and it seems like the easiest way, and especially since the last time there was a problem using the paddle probe. Some people were saying that they couldn't. I was getting the same issue I was, that the HScope was just closing like that. But with the attenuator, it was happening, it was working good, and I will just make sure on this A7 Samsung that it does the same thing. All right, guys, let me grab the paddle probe, because that way we can move it around too if we have to. I mean, I could do the primary and find a sink, and we could do anything. I'm going to have to enable the ignition, but this is GDI. I don't want it spraying fuel. If the ignition goes, and can be interesting, but one way or the other, I don't think I could crank it and hold the paddle probe, so I might have to do one primary. All right, guys, I'll be back after I set something up.